Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that you've never truly been in control of your own mind, not because you're weak, not because you're lazy, but because something else has been making your decisions. It speaks before you think. It reacts before you choose. It turns small problems into emotional storms. It whispers, don't do it, you're not ready, what if you fail? And before logic has a chance to respond, you've already listened for years. You believe that voice was you, but what if it isn't? What if there's another part of your mind, primitive, emotional, impulsive, always fighting for control? A part so powerful, it can destroy relationships, sabotage careers, and quietly shape the entire course of your life. Dr. Steve Peters gave this hidden part of the mind a simple name, the chimp, and once you understand it, you'll never see your thoughts the same way again. Act 1. The stranger inside your mind. Have you ever promised yourself, tomorrow, I'll wake up early, but when morning came, you hit the snooze button again and again? Or maybe, you told yourself, I won't get angry this time. Then one sentence, one moment, one small trigger, and suddenly, you exploded. Later, you regretted it. You ask yourself, why did I do that? The strange thing is, you already knew the right choice. So why didn't you make it? Most people believe that if they know what's right, they'll naturally do it. But life tells a different story. We eat what we know we shouldn't. We avoid the work we know we should do. We stay in relationships that hurt us. We procrastinate. We overreact. We sabotage our own goals, not because we're incapable, but because knowing and controlling are two completely different things. Dr. Steve Peters believes there's a reason for this. Inside every human mind, there are different systems competing for control. Point 1 part is calm. Logical. Patient. It plans. It analyzes. It thinks about the future. But another part moves much faster. It doesn't care about logic. It cares about survival, comfort, fear, emotion. This is what Peters calls the chimp, not because there's literally a monkey inside your brain, but because this emotional system behaves in ways that often overpower reason. The chimp isn't your enemy. It evolved to protect you. Thousands of years ago, that quick emotional reaction kept humans alive. It helped us escape danger, fight threats, and survive. The problem is, your chimp doesn't always know the difference between a hungry lion and a stressful email. Your emotional brain both can feel like danger, and that's why, sometimes, you react before you even have the chance to think. Act 2. The battle you never see. Imagine, you're driving home after a long day. You're exhausted, your mind is already full, then suddenly, another driver cuts you off. In less than a second, your heart starts racing, your muscles tighten. Your hands grip the steering wheel. You feel the urge to react, maybe to shout, maybe to chase them, maybe to prove a point. But then, a few minutes later, you calm down, and you think, why did I almost lose control over something so small? Because in that moment, you weren't thinking, you were reacting. According to Dr. Steve Peters, the chimp is designed for one purpose: survival. It doesn't ask, is this true? It asks, is this dangerous? And if the answer feels like yes, it takes control instantly. That's why criticism can feel like an attack, why rejection can feel like a threat, why failure can feel like the end of the world, not because those things will destroy you, but because your emotional mind treats them as if they might. The chimp doesn't care about your long-term goals. It cares about one thing, keeping you safe, even if staying safe means staying exactly where you are. That's why it tells you, don't take the risk, don't start the business, don't speak up, don't apply, don't fail. It mistakes comfort for safety, and over time, comfort becomes a cage. The cruel irony is this: the very system designed to protect you can also become the thing that holds you back the most, not because it's evil, but because it was built for a world that no longer exists. And unless you learn to recognize it, your chimp will continue making decisions that your future self will have to live with. Act 3. You are not your chimp. Imagine, you're standing on the edge of a cliff, your heart is pounding, your palms are sweating, every instinct inside you screams, step back. Even though you're completely safe, your chimp isn't trying to discover the truth. It's trying to eliminate uncertainty, because to the chimp, the unknown always feels dangerous. Now imagine something different. You're about to speak in front of hundreds of people. Nothing can physically hurt you. No one is chasing you. No one is attacking you, yet your body reacts as if your life is in danger. Why? Because your chimp can't always tell the difference between real danger and imagined danger. That's why your mind creates stories. They'll laugh at me. I'll embarrass myself. I'm not good enough. The stories feel real not because they're true, but because your emotions make them believable, and this is where most people lose. They mistake emotion for evidence. They believe every fearful thought simply because they felt it. But Steve Peters offers a different perspective. He says, the goal isn't to silence your chimp because you can't. The goal is to recognize when it's speaking. The moment you notice, this is my chimp reacting, something extraordinary happens. You create space. A space between the emotion and the decision, and inside that space, your logical mind finally has a chance to speak. For the first time, you stop reacting automatically, you begin responding intentionally. That single moment of awareness can change the course of your entire life, because the strongest people aren't the ones who never feel fear. They're the ones who refuse to let fear make their decisions. Act 4. Don't fight the chimp. Most people make the same mistake. They try to destroy their emotions. They tell themselves, I shouldn't feel anxious. I shouldn't be angry. I shouldn't be afraid. But the harder they fight, the stronger those emotions become. Imagine trying to hold a beach ball underwater for a few seconds. You can keep it down, but the moment your grip weakens, it explodes back to the surface. Your emotions work the same way. The chimp cannot be bullied into silence. It must be understood. Dr. Steve Peters explains that your chimp doesn't respond to logic first. It responds to safety. When you ignore it, it becomes louder. When you attack it, it fights back. But when you acknowledge it, something changes. Imagine you're about to walk into an important interview. Your heart starts racing, your breathing becomes shallow. Your chimp whispers, you're going to fail. Most people panic. They try to force confidence, but the wiser response is different. You pause, you breathe, and you recognize what's happening. My chimp is trying to protect me. Not because the interview is dangerous, but because uncertainty feels dangerous. That simple realization changes everything. Instead of becoming the emotion, you begin observing it. Instead of reacting, you regain the ability to choose. The emotion may still exist, but it no longer controls the decision. And that's the difference. Mental strength isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to move forward, even while fear is sitting beside you. The people who appear calm under pressure aren't emotionless. They've simply learned that feelings are temporary, choices are permanent. Every time you respond instead of react, you train your mind. Every time you pause before acting, you weaken the chimp's grip, not in a single day, but through hundreds of small moments that quietly reshape who you become. Act 5. Who will control your life? Every morning, before you even leave your bed, a silent battle begins. No one can see it. No one can hear it, but it shapes every decision you'll make that day. One voice says, stay comfortable, sleep a little longer, don't take the risk, avoid the hard conversation, start tomorrow. The other voice is quieter. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It simply asks, who do you want to become? Most people think their future is decided by luck. By talent. By opportunity. But more often than not, it's decided by which voice they listen to. Every excuse you accept feeds your chimp. Every difficult decision you make strengthens the person you want to become. The battle isn't won in one heroic moment. It's won in hundreds of ordinary moments. The workout you almost skipped, the apology you almost didn't make, the opportunity you almost ignored, the fear you almost obeyed. Those moments seem invisible, but they slowly become your identity. This is the greatest lesson of the Chimp Paradox. You are not your first emotion. You are not your first impulse. You are not every fearful thought that passes through your mind. You are the one who decides what happens next, and that decision, repeated day after day, quietly becomes your life. So the real question isn't, do you have a chimp? Because everyone does. The real question is, who's holding the steering wheel? Final act. The mind you feed. Perhaps the greatest discovery you'll ever make isn't about the world. It's about yourself. For years, you may have believed that your thoughts were your identity, that every fear, every doubt, every angry reaction was simply who you are. But maybe they were never meant to define you. Maybe they were only signals, messages, emotions passing through, not permanent truths. Steve Peters reminds us that every human being carries emotional impulses. The question isn't whether they exist. The question is, who gets the final vote? Your chimp will always speak. It will warn you, protect you. Sometimes it will even save you. But if you allow it, it can also convince you to stay small. To avoid change. To spend an entire lifetime living inside invisible limits. The strongest people in the world are not those who never feel fear. They are the ones who learn to pause, listen, think, and choose. Because freedom isn't the absence of emotion. It's the ability to decide what comes next. And maybe that's what true self-control has always been. Not controlling every thought, not eliminating every fear, but refusing to let your first emotion write the rest of your story. So when this video ends, don't ask yourself, how do I silence my chimp? Ask a better question. The next time fear speaks, will I automatically obey, or will I choose my response? That single decision, made over and over again, may quietly transform every relationship, every opportunity, every dream, and perhaps your entire life. Because in the end, your future will never be built by the thoughts that appear in your mind. It will be built by the choices you make after they appear. The chimp will always have a voice, but from this moment forward, make sure it never has the final word.